Hello, everyone. My name is Christiana Wilcox, and today I will be talking about the competence to exercise the right to remain silent. Most people are familiar with the phrase, "you have the right to remain silent." But in forensic psychology, the most important question isn't whether someone has the right, it's whether they are competent to exercise it. Today, I'll be discussing what competence to exercise the right to remain silent means, how forensic psychologists evaluate it, and why it plays a critical role in protecting both individual rights and the integrity of the legal system. Understanding and effectively exercising your right to remain silent is crucial in protecting your legal interests. This right is rooted in the Fifth Amendment of the United States Constitution. It allows individuals to refuse to answer questions or make statements that might incriminate them. This is the basis for the common phrase pleading the fifth. It allows protection to inform suspects of their right to remain silent during police interrogations. When a person is subjected to custodial interrogation, law enforcement is required to provide Miranda warnings. If these warnings are not given, any statements made during the interrogation may be deemed inadmissible in court. The landmark Supreme Court case, Miranda v. Arizona, 1966, established that law enforcement must inform individuals of their rights, including the right to remain silent, during custodial interrogations. This ruling has been a cornerstone of criminal procedure and has influenced numerous subsequent cases regarding the right of the accused and aim to ensure that individuals are aware of their rights and can invoke them effectively. The case remains a pivotal moment in the ongoing discussion about the balance between law enforcement and individual rights in the American legal system. When we talk about competence to exercise the right to remain silent, we're not just asking whether someone was told their rights, we're asking whether they were actually capable of using them in a meaningful way. In this context, we look at three key abilities. First, is the individual able to understand the right itself, including what it means to remain silent and to have an attorney? Second, are they able to appreciate the consequences of speaking or remaining silent, such as the fact that their statements can be used against them in court? Finally, they must be able to make a rational decision about whether to waive or exercise that right. Forensic psychologists evaluate Miranda waiver competence using a combination of standardized assessments and clinical interviews. These evaluations are designed to determine whether an individual truly understood their rights and the consequences of waiving them. These tools often assess vocabulary, comprehension of legal rights, and reasoning abilities. Individuals may be asked to explain what the right to remain silent means or to apply that right in hypothetical situation, which helps assess both understanding and decision making. In addition to testing, forensic psychologists conduct detailed clinical interviews to explore the individual's mental state during the interrogation, their level of stress or confusion, and their thought process at the time of the waiver. Evaluators may reconstruct the interrogation to understand what the individual was feeling and thinking when they chose to speak. These findings can have significant legal consequences as they may affect whether a confession is admissible in court. Competence to exercise the right to remain silent is important because it directly affects the fairness of the legal process. If a person does not truly understand their rights or the consequences of waiving them, any statements they make may not be reliable. Evaluating competence helps protect individuals from giving false or coerced confessions, especially those who are vulnerable due to mental illness, intellectual disabilities, or age. At the same time, it helps preserve the integrity of the legal system by ensuring that confessions and evidence are obtained lawfully and ethically. This video explains a common legal question about Miranda rights. When police read someone their Miranda warnings, do they have to make sure the person actually shows they understand them before questioning can continue? In many cases, simply reciting the rights isn't enough in the eyes of law. If a suspect doesn't truly understand the rights, any statements made afterward might not be admissible in court. With that in mind, I'd like to ask, how should responsibility for determining Miranda understanding be shared between police, psychologists, and the courts? That concludes my presentation. Thank you for joining me.